Welcome to the Average Nobodies podcast, the ultimate home for wrestling enthusiasts, beer drinkers, movie quoters, and pop culture connoisseurs. Here are your hosts, Matt and Ryan.
Welcome to the Average Nobodies podcast number 60 for January 3rd, 2018. On today's show, we're chatting about our Christmas and New Year holidays, YouTuber Logan Paul, what we've been watching, and the first TV club of 2018 as we review Black Mirror Series 4, Episode 1, USS Callister, and Episode 2, Arkangel. You can chat with us on Twitter at Average Nobodies, toss us a like on Facebook at Average Nobodies, and heart all of our pictures on Instagram, also at Average Nobodies. Don't forget, this podcast is available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and YouTube. My name is Ryan, and here with me, as always, is...
Matt Vieira.
Hey, welcome back.
Yes, 2018. It's good to be back.
It is good to be back. We took a week off we celebrate privately when it comes to Groundhog Day, Christmas, and New Year's. So.
Yes. Arbor Day too. Don't forget about Arbor Day.
And yeah. Oh God, the most important one.
Exactly. Of course. It honestly felt like an eternity.
You were gone for a while.
Yeah, I was gone from the Saturday before Christmas, and I got back on the 1st. So it was a good long vacation. It felt like I was away for a while, and it felt like I haven't podcasted in a month. So it feels very good to be back. It's also a great time right now for us to jump back into it because lots of good TV happening. Like you said, tonight we're going to be talking about Netflix's own Black Mirror. Very, very excited.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's like a lull in like late November through December where a lot of series have been kind of doing like half seasons, so they'll take a break and then come back fresh in the new year, which is kind of smart, I guess, in a way, because they figure people are busy, during Christmas time and stuff like that. So
yeah.
We're coming back in conjunction with a lot of great TV coming back, and obviously towards the top of that list is Black Mirror. We'll get to that later with the TV club. But how was your Christmas? How was your New Year's?
Christmas was great. Spent it in about 90-degree weather down in the Caribbean. It's
specialty.
Yeah, I would say it's strange, but the last couple of years I've actually been doing Christmas in Florida. So. With my parents down at the place they have in Sarasota. So it wasn't that much different. Like the first time I did it in Florida, it was weird because it wasn't cold. Like there was no snow. So it definitely didn't feel like Christmas. So now I'm kind of used to the warm weather Christmas. I got to say, I don't hate it. I definitely don't hate it.
Like the warm weather Christmas?
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's definitely a change of pace. It's like there's definitely something to be said about a white Christmas, which you guys had back here in the good old Rhode Island.
It was actually wild.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was okay by the time, early afternoon came, but early in the morning, it was like blizzard, like crazy winds. And I mean, the snow didn't accumulate too much, but it was kind of nuts, which at first you're like, all right, hey, maybe I have an excuse to just kind of, not that I don't want to spend time with my family. Obviously, I love my, but I mean, after Christmas Eve, which is always more fun to me anyway, because we have a Christmas Eve party that we go to every year, and then I go to my family's, and then I go to Holly's family. So when Christmas Day comes, I've kind of already seen everyone.
Yeah.
And it's a day off of work, so I'm like, I wouldn't mind just kind of hanging in, but it ended up clearing up, and it was a nice time.
Yeah, we're good Italian boys, so we know that the better part of Christmas is Christmas Eve.
Absolutely,
it's its better half, honestly. Because of like the food and whatnot, and it's that's always the bigger party anyway. But I get that. But yeah, Christmas was great. New Year's was awesome. I gotta say, this was the first year that I really showed my age on New Year's Eve. I was very tired by the time midnight came around. I was very tired. You can ask Lindy. Lindy was also very tired. But also this year I wasn't like slugging champagne like I was last year, and then like dancing all over Lindy's apartment. So that was a little change of pace as well. But yeah, I was very tired. How about you?
I mean, we just kind of we hung in. Didn't want to do too much. 2018 is going to be a big year. Got a lot of stuff going on, so we wanted to.
Yes, you do.
kind of wanted to, set it off on a relaxing note. So we just hung in. Holly ordered a bunch of new board games, which you'll have to come and play.
That's
shortly.
awesome.
So I lost almost all of the pieces to Trouble somehow. I think it was when I went to New Hampshire, and I packed it in my trunk, and the box came apart because we went to go play it a couple weeks ago, and it was like 4 pieces. So we wanted to order the replacement pieces online, and the replacement pieces are like $20.
So you might as well just buy a new board game.
The new board game is $8.
Yeah.
So we just got a new Trouble. We got this game called What Do You Meme? Like MEME, What Do You Meme? And it's like Cards Against Humanity, but with like famous internet memes. So you'll get a card, like a Cards Against Humanity judge's card, and then people have to submit a meme. So you read the thing, and then like the meme would correspond to it. It's pretty funny.
That sounds awesome. I've seen that game, and so it sort of plays like Cards Against Humanity.
Yep.
Humanity, and
Same exact thing.
Yeah, and it's like very raunchy as well, right? Like just like Cards
Yes.
Against Humanity is. That's awesome. That sounds really cool. I was like almost ready to pull the trigger on that and bring it on the trip, but there's like I don't think there's like a good the crowd that Lindy and I went on vacation with. I don't think that game is a good game for the crowd we went with.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
You gotta kind of figure out the right crowd to play that in. So we, Holly's friend Amy came over, Connor came by, so we did that for a little bit.
That's awesome.
And then we got a game called Telestrations.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever played that.
No, I don't know what that is.
So it uses so you have a note. Each player gets like their own notepad. It's like a storybook. So you get like 20 blank pages, and you use the hourglass or the minute 60-second sand glass thing.
Yeah.
And what you do is you'll get a card with like numbered 1 through 6, and next to each number will be a word. So someone rolls the dice, and whatever number it is, whatever word is next to that number, you have 60 seconds to draw.
Okay.
So you have to draw it, and then when you're done drawing it, you pass your pad to the person to your right, and then they have 60 seconds to write down what they think it is.
Okay. So
And
they
then-
can't talk. They can't talk.
No, this is so you just have to go off the drawing.
Okay.
And you just write the word. Like, whatever you think it is, you write the word. And then after 60 seconds, they pass it to their right, and that person draws what the word is. And then you do it till you get back to the original author, and then you go through the storybook and see, like, who got it right, It's pretty fun.
That's cool. That's funny.
Yeah. I'm a very bad artist, so people were not happy. Not happy with me at all. So.
That's great. That sounds awesome. A lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So very relaxing on both fronts. Just hung in, saved money and just relaxed and had a lot of good wine.
Yeah.
So
Excellent. You want to know who was not hanging in on his holidays?
I have a good educated guess.
It's Logan Paul.
Let's get ready to rumble!
So, for those of you who don't know, Logan Paul, and I actually had to brush up on this because I wasn't sure if Logan Paul and Jake Paul are brothers, but they are. They apparently they are. They are brothers. Logan Paul is the older brother. I guess I should have figured that they would have been brothers. They kind of look alike, and they're both like very annoying, like each one of them are, But I just thought it was like
just a coincidence.
Yeah, I just thought it was like, because I know they were like big Viners at one point, and like they did like Vines, and now they're big YouTube stars. So I wasn't sure. I thought maybe it was just like a YouTube shtick that I have no idea what the where to begin with that. So anyway, he's a vlogger, a daily vlogger. It's a huge subset of YouTubers that do this. They put out a daily video of just themselves doing whatever the fuck they do. And Logan Paul happened to be visiting Japan. So do you wanna explain what happened?
Oh, I mean, basically what he did, he was in Japan and he visited, it's called the Sea of Trees or the Suicide Forest. The Japanese name for it. I'm not going to offend anyone by even trying to pronounce it. But anyway, it's like and I was actually talking about this with Holly because she taught in South Korea for a number of years. And in the Asian culture, like suicide, it's not that it's accepted, but it's not as much as a stigma as it is in the United States. So, and I guess she was telling me that in like Korea, the suicide rate for teens is so high because of how much pressure is put on kids from their parents.
Mm-hmm.
And in this Sea of Trees, it's a place where, like, back during the war, like when Japan was suffering famine and stuff after World War II, the people would take like their elderly parents that they couldn't feed and just like leave them in the forest.
Jesus.
And to die. So it's like a different type of place. It's a very spiritual place, and this idiot went and filmed his vlog there, but he's wearing that did you see like that green hat he's wearing with like the
It was the alien from Toy Story, like hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's doing his vlog and he's walking around, and then in the background for several minutes, not like a quick thing, is someone hanging from a tree.
Yeah.
Clearly a dead body. And he puts it up on YouTube. Naturally, it gets a ton of flack.
Yeah.
And he posts this apology, which was so half-hearted.
Yeah.
Basically just saying, like, don't you know who I am? I work so hard, but also I'm sorry. And, like, it was like a split-second mistake.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I mean, you know, as you edit and put up YouTube videos, this wasn't a live stream.
Yeah.
This was something he took footage from, went back, edited it, put it together, and posted it.
Yes.
So, very conscious to do it. And as is everything on the internet, I mean, there's some people who are defending him. There's his loyal followers who actually met, because he decided not to vlog today, I guess. I was looking at. He's like, you know, I'm gonna like contemplate not vlog today, and people are mad. They're like, what do you mean? Like you gotta move forward and do a blah. It's like, Jesus Christ, like
yeah. So I have an inside scoop. Call me Matty Scoops right now.
That's all I'm gonna call you from now on.
Okay. I actually regret it now. So Lindy's little cousin, he is a huge fan of Logan Paul. I learned over the trip that I went on with Lindy's family, that I just got back from. Huge fan of Logan Paul. Apparently his followers, it's called the Low Gang. And that's another thing too, like YouTube, big YouTube vloggers, most of them have this thing they call their fans. Like, it's like, I don't know, like Beliebers for Justin Bieber, you know what I mean? But all these vloggers have it, and for him, it's the Low Gang, right? And the Low Gang buys his merchandise in droves. And what Lindy's cousin wanted for Christmas was a Logan Paul sweatshirt. His brand is called Maverick, and it's like a bird. And he also has a bird that looks just like the bird that's on the shirt. But they sell millions and millions of these like shirts and sweatshirts and everything. And his like fan base is largely like kids 8 to 13, I would say. Like all the kids in his class all watch Logan Paul. It's all like 8 or 9 years old to like 12, 13. It's crazy.
So when they're defending him, they don't even really know what's
exactly like they don't know what they have, like such young impressionable minds. Like he is what content they're consuming, and they have no idea why they want to see what he's doing just because it's like fucking entertaining. But they don't know the gravity of the situation of like what he's actually doing. You know what I mean? So it's not like me and you. It's like if one of our favorite like creators or like one of our favorite comedians, like something happened where he was like needed to take the time away and like he needed to apologize. Well, we would understand like, okay, he's not going to be putting out stuff. Like they don't have that because they're like so like these are young kids. Like they just want the Logan Paul to put out a new fucking video. Like he does it every day. So he needs to put out another video.
Yeah. So it's a messy situation. He's obviously not. It was, and you know, I think we're so used to just like jumping into extremes. Like you either support him 100% or, you know, he needs to never do anything in the public eye ever again.
Yeah.
Like, did he make a mistake? Yes. Was it poor taste? Yes. But I mean, to like literally try and like throw the kid under the bus and make sure he never does anything again. I mean, it just seems like no one has a middle ground anymore.
No, you're right.
I don't know. I mean, it was definitely a shitty thing to do. And it was also a worse apology. But at the same time, this guy's living in a totally different world than a lot of other people. Like, he's just used to people praising him no matter what.
Yeah. I totally agree. And I think that a lot of that I think that a lot of that rings true, especially on the internet, which is why we do people versus the internet. You know what I mean? Like it's either you're either 100% or nothing. So, like you said, was it a shitty thing? Yeah, absolutely. Does he deserve to be like shunned from the internet and from life in general for doing it? No, I don't think so. Zach Braff put out a tweet and he summed it up kind of nicely. Like you were saying, like, this is not a live video. He edited this. They edited this video and put it out on YouTube for monetization. He was making money off this video. And then to make matters worse, he did not help himself at all. He put out an apology video on YouTube, which he actually monetized with ads.
Yeah.
Now listen, how monetization works on YouTube for people who don't know, because we monetize some of our videos as well. You check a box. You have to go out of your way to check a box whether you want to monetize the video or not. Now, Ryan, you tell me, if you're put in this situation, if for some reason you do something dumb like this, or I do something dumb like this, and you put out an apology video, would you ever in a million years think to monetize that video? To make
Absolutely
money
not.
off that apology? Ridiculous, isn't it? That's ridiculous.
You got to sit some plays out.
Yeah.
Like, what do you, I mean, and I know maybe that's his whole life and that's how he does things, but you're also a human being.
Yeah.
You also need to, kind of realize when enough's enough, you don't do shit like that.
Yeah.
And doing something like that shows me that he doesn't obviously give a shit. And also he's not learning from this situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not saying he's going to go back and post on another dead body, but that's not the point.
Yeah.
Like, that's an example of behavior. And again, going back to what you said, you have these 8 to 13-year-old kids looking up to you.
Yeah.
Like, that's a role model
Yep.
for them. And
Yep.
now he clearly just doesn't care. He's still just trying to make money off it.
Yeah. And I
And
think he needs to better realize that he has a responsibility to his fans. Like, he needs to realize who his fans are, and he has to be responsible for things he does for those fans. You know what I mean? I think that's only fair for his stardom to come with some sort of like check where he needs to really realize what he's doing. I don't know. I'm not a fan of his. I really wasn't a fan of his before this. I'm definitely not a fan of his after this. Will this only make his channel bigger? Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
It definitely seems like it's kind of the culture we're living in. People will defend you to a fault no matter what. Instead of looking at it like a rational person, you're going to say everything he does is great. Everything people who oppose him does is bad. And that's just such the wrong way to look at things. But
you're right.
time will tell. Maybe, I'll tell you what, if this was the Black Mirror universe, we could go back to last season's finale, get a hashtag going, get those killer bees zipping around.
Yes.
He'd be the most hated man on the internet. Although,
Yeah.
I don't know if we want him to actually pass away, but
No.
maybe that's a little.
Yeah, no. I think that he needs to think about what he's doing. I don't think he's going to change at all, but that's his prerogative to or not to change. Whatever.
Well, Logan Paul, you're on our radar, so
Yes.
you were against the internet this week, and we're going to be following you very closely.
Yes.
So you might be able to get away with a lot of things with the average nobodies around the case.
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
All right. To bring it back to a more uplifting topic, Ryan, what have you been watching?
So first thing, this was inspired by our friend Justine, and she was sending me Snapchats on the Friday before Christmas of different episodes of The Office, their Christmas episodes. So got home from work, Holly and I threw on every single Christmas episode of The Office, and it's a tradition that I'm going to do until the end of time. It was just so much fun, just going from like the early ones to even the one without Michael, which was, I forgot how hysterical it was.
Which one is the one without Michael? Remind me.
That's the one when Andy like wants to like make all their wishes come true.
Oh, yes. Yep.
He's like the Santa in The Office, and like Stanley's like all pissed off because he's talking about like every single Christmas he's had to go to. He's like, I've been through all my rockin' Christmas. I've been through all this. I've been through that. But it was really funny, and it's the one where is that the one where I'm trying to think. I think that's the one where Dwight and Jim get in the snowball fight. right?
Oh, with
Michael's
the
not.
snowman. Yeah, no, Michael's not there for that. That was when, that's the one with Andy.
But yeah, they were, I mean, obviously they're all great. Every Office episode is great, but we did that the Friday before Christmas, and that was just a ton of fun. And then now, obviously, we're actually just rewatching the whole series again.
Excellent.
As you have to do.
Yes.
And started Daredevil on Netflix.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, watched all of season 1, loved it.
Nice.
And we're 2 episodes into season 2.
You're going to love season 2. You're going to love
I already
season 2.
love it. I mean, John Bernthal as the Punisher is...
Yeah.
I like it because he kind of has more of like a moral compass, it seems, than Wilson Fisk.
Yes.
In season 1, where Wilson Fisk is just kind of a very disturbed person, as you can tell. You know, when you kill your dad at a very young age, you to turn into that. But haven't seen a lot out of the Punisher yet. I'm only 2 episodes in, but clearly he has targets. Like, he's not just killing to kill.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking forward to watching the actual Punisher too, because I want to see his backstory. So we're watching that, and then a couple movies we watched. We watched American Made. Well, I watched American Made.
That's the Tom Cruise joint?
Bruce, yeah, not bad. I can kind of see why it didn't take off.
Okay.
It's kind of all over the place. And then The Mountains Between Us with Idris Elba and Kate Winslet.
Okay.
It was pretty good. It was a love story, but it was good.
My parents just watched that last night.
I liked it. I thought it was good. It was like a simple...
Sorry, sorry, what'd you say? It was like a what?
It's like a romance, like a love story.
Okay.
But yeah, it was really good. I enjoyed it. It was just them two. Like the whole movie. There's basically no one else in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was well done.
Lindy's uncle was actually reading the book while we were on our trip.
Mountains Between Us?
Yeah, I didn't know it was a book, but yeah, apparently it's a book. He said it was very good. So I definitely want to see that.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's different. It's like a change of pace from like the action, and I've just been watching so much action stuff.
Yeah.
That I wanted to switch up, slow it down a little bit, and it was very good. I enjoyed it.
Nice. Have you seen Wind River?
Yes.
Did you like that?
I did.
Nice. I want to see that. I've heard a lot of good things.
Yeah, with Jeremy Renner.
Yes, and Elizabeth Olsen.
You'd really like it.
Nice.
It's the guy who did
It's Sicario, right?
He wrote Sicario, and he did what's that Western you like with Jeff Bridges and Chris Pine?
True Grit? No.
No, we got nominated for our Best Picture last year.
Oh, Hell or High Water. Yeah.
Yeah, he did that. He wrote that too.
Oh, that was that's awesome.
He's written Sicario. He wrote the next Sicario. He's written Hell or High Water, and he wrote this.
Oh, cool. I definitely want to watch that. My parents just watched that the other night too. They said it was good, so I heard a lot of good things.
I definitely recommend that. Wind River's awesome.
Yeah. Nice. So that's it?
Yeah. How about yourself?
Well, I just recently got Spider-Man Homecoming on Blu-ray, so I watched that this week. I'm hopefully tomorrow during the snow day, the little snow day we're gonna have. I'm going to watch all the special features because I hear there's a lot of good stuff on it. I also started finally, and like literally just started. Like I watched the first 5 minutes, but I'm planning on also finishing that this week. I don't know the full name of it. The OJ Simpson special that they did. It's on Netflix now.
OJ Made in America.
Yes, the one with like John Travolta and Cuba Gooding Jr.
Oh,
David Schwimmer.
Yeah.
That one.
Not Made in America.
Yeah, because I know there's 2 of them, right? There's 2 separate ones.
Yeah, so Made in America is the documentary series, but then they did the one on FX.
Yes, this is the one from FX. It's on Netflix now. Very good.
Yeah. I watched that when it came on. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm watching that. Like I said, I literally just started it, but I've heard a lot of people at my job have been watching it now that it's on Netflix. And they said it's awesome. So, and I know you have seen it and you really liked it. So I'm excited to watch that. I'll finish that. I also last night I watched the new Dave Chappelle stand up, which
I really want to see it.
Yeah, I liked it. I think it. I don't know. I don't know if it's like the best one of the 3 he's done. I think the best one of his Netflix specials, like the ones he just recently did, was the actual one that was like filmed recently, not the one that was like filmed like last year in Austin. You know what I'm saying? Not that one.
Yeah.
the more recent one. I think that was his best one, but it was still very good and very Dave Chappelle. So I did enjoy that. He does in it. He hints at like going away for a while. It's like, come on. It's like we just got Dave Chappelle back. It's like I don't want him to like go away for another like 10 years.
Yeah, like come on, keep hosting SNL, keep doing this fun shit. Like he's the man.
Yeah, yeah. So I really enjoyed it. It's great. So you'll definitely have a few laughs. And also I've been watching Star Trek, but I've been watching Star Trek for like almost 6 months now. There's so many episodes. It's ridiculous.
I was gonna say, isn't that just for like forever?
It's literally going to be the rest of my life, just catching up on Star Trek. I don't think I'll ever actually catch up. But I used for the first time I used the very handy feature on Netflix where you can save episodes and movies to your device and play them when you have no internet, because I didn't have much internet over my trip. So I would save a couple episodes here and there when I had Wi-Fi, and then later on at night or like, on the beach or whatever, like watch an episode or two. If I was just like hanging out. So very, very helpful, especially since the island had no cable TV at all. So our hotel room, the TV didn't work. It was just there. It just didn't work. They like get hit by that big Hurricane Irma. And so they're still really. What?
Still dealing with issues from that.
Oh yeah, they just got power back.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's
crazy.
insane.
Yep, crazy stuff, man. But that's it. That's what I've been watching. Yeah, I think this section's always tough for me because I feel like I need to, when I watch something, I need to write it down right away. Because if I need to recollect what I watch, I can't remember what I had for breakfast. So
yeah.
It's tough.
I'm very similar.
Yeah.
Certain things just stick out to me, but for the most part, because I spend so much time just like I just love watching new TV, new movies. Like that's, if I have free time, that's what I'll do.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Same. All right, let's get into the main topic here. Let's get into TV Club.
Let's do it. I'm excited.
So how do you want to do this? So we're doing 2 episodes. We're doing, like we said, USS Callister, and we're doing Arkangel. Those are the first 2 episodes. Next week, we're going to do the next 2, and then the following week, we'll do the last 2 episodes of season 4. Ryan, yeah, let you hop right into the first one. Get it going.
Okay. So 4.1, title of the episode is USS Callister, and the description via IMDb is a woman wakes up on a Star Trek-esque ship where the crew praise their all-knowing and fearless captain. This was directed by Toby Haynes, written by Charlie Brooker, who is also the creator of Black Mirror, and William Bridges. So Matt, first thoughts. I mean, as someone who's been avidly watching Star Trek for your entire existence now, this must have been a kind of a cool little episode. I mean, I don't watch Star Trek, nor do I have much background on it, but it was really, really well done.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I actually couldn't have planned that transition better. I probably should have been a little better about it, because so they call it it's Space Fleet is the show that our main character Robert, what's his last name? Oh God, what is his last name? Anyway, our main character is Jesse Plemons. He likes this show. There was like a classic show called Starfleet, I believe, right, is what he called it, or Space Fleet, Starfleet, Space Fleet, which is clearly it's just supposed to be Star Trek. It's very clearly a play on Star Trek, and I like that they played it like it, they can't obviously just call it Star Trek. That would cause a lot of issues, but I also don't think it would work as well as it does here. Black Mirror does their episodes in such a way where they want to blur realities. It's like, that is reality, like these episodes, but it's not. It's a different world. You know what I mean? And they do that very well. So if they did call it Star Trek or something more similar, it might not have gotten the same effect. But Space Fleet and the way they show the visuals and the way that the bridge is set up on the ship and the way that all the characters are dressed really invokes Star Trek. And you get it. It doesn't have to be spoon-fed to you. There's a very good scene early on when you first, when I think it's actually the cold open when Jesse Plemons is on the bridge, and he kisses. And I forgive me because I don't really know the other characters' names, but she was the other. Oh God, what is her name? But anyway,
Shayna.
Oh, maybe.
Shayna's one of them. Yeah.
So it was back when the original Star Trek happened. William Shatner, like very memorably, kissed Uhura. Uhura is how you say her name. But she was black, and it was like a big thing because it was an interracial kiss on TV. Like back when Star Trek first came out, and he did it in the same way. He like grabbed her and like did that little dip to the side and kissed her, and it was like just like a nice throwback to the original Star Trek. I picked that out right away. And then it got real fucked up after that, like Black Mirror does.
Yeah, as they do. I mean, I like how you mentioned because a lot of Black Mirror is sci-fi, futuristic, and they're almost in one episode they'll exist in multiple universes. Mm-hmm. So like in San Junipero, in White Christmas, and they tweak it just a bit so you know what's what.
Yeah.
And I think, like you said, not calling it Star Trek, making it its own universe, allowed you to remember that this isn't the real world. However, these people are, a part of these people are still, which is the most messed up part, because you can kind of rationalize it as, well, they still have their lives. It's like, yeah, but at the same time, like, these people are also existing as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And Robert Daly's character, who at the beginning, well, not like the very beginning, you might feel a little bad for, just the way Walton, the boss, was treating him.
Yeah.
You once Nanette comes in, you kind of stop feeling bad for him because you see what he's doing.
Yes.
Which is, that's obviously his whole life. He eats pizza. He puts this chip. And the chip is like a reoccurring theme in a lot of Black Mirror episodes, and we'll talk about it in Arkangel too. But what they do is they kind of pinpoint technology that isn't really that far off, and utilize it in a lot of fucked up ways. So It's not like the positive side of what this technology can bring. It's how can we make this as messed up as possible. Mm-hmm. Which I think is a great way to do it. Because I think a lot of times you'll look at the positive side of, like this technology, look at all this cool stuff we can do. It's like, yeah, but then it gets in the wrong hands and, things go to shit very, very quickly.
Yeah.
I thought it was a phenomenal cast.
Yeah.
You had the Fargo connection of Jesse Plemons, who played Robert Daly. He was in the latest season of Fargo, as was Kristen Milioti. She played Nanette Cole, who ended up being like our protagonist, our hero.
Yeah, and she's also the mother from How I Met Your Mother.
Yep, I didn't. Holly noticed that. Those eyes, man.
Yeah,
her eyes.
Yeah, they are almost popping out of her head. They're so big.
Yeah, it reminds me of most of like the female characters in Mr. Robot. Like those eyes just suck you in.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So expressive and. But she was really great. There were 2 cameos, which we'll talk about in a little bit. One was from Fargo, and one was from Breaking Bad, which Jesse Plemons was also in.
Yep.
And then you also had Jimmy Simpson, who played Walton, and prior to like 3 or 4 years ago, he was probably best known as a McPoyle on Always Sunny.
I love this. The little note you typed out. It says Jimmy Simpson, Westworld, House of Cards, Always Sunny. It's like what a like. It's so funny. It's like one of the McBoyle brothers. That's how I know him best.
Yep, and he's really good. He was really good in the House of Cards a couple seasons ago.
Yep.
And I mean, he's just like fantastic as the young man in black.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Westworld season 2 is gonna bring, but I mean, I would love to get more of like his transition into like the Man in Black that we know.
Oh, absolutely!
Like that would be awesome.
So one question I wanted to pose to you,
yes,
because Holly and I were going back and forth on this.
Bring it.
So I saw this episode as San Junipero-esque.
Yeah.
Both in scale, like it was a larger episode. It almost kind of felt like a movie.
Yeah.
Because you got like the entire spectrum of these characters.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it had a happy-ish ending, as happy as you're going to get in Black Mirror.
Yep.
Even though it was a happy ending in the fictional universe.
Yep.
You know, like, because in San Junipero, they both die. But they're happy together for all of eternity in this alternate world.
Yes.
And in this alternate world, Robert Daly ends up dying in real life, which frees them in the alternate world.
Yeah.
And Nanette takes over.
Mm-hmm.
Holly saw it more of like a White Christmas episode where they're still trapped in that alternate reality and it's kind of a happy ending. But I mean, I kind of wanted to get your thoughts. Like, which one would you, if you had to compare it to, which one would you pick?
It's tough. I think it's definitely a mix. But if I had to pick one, I would lean more towards the San Junipero reference. There's one big glaring issue with that, though, that lends it more towards White Christmas. Is like San Junipero. They made that decision, right? They decided to be there. Right, because it was like either you die or you get uploaded to this thing. Right, you either take a chance with the regular afterlife or you do this amazing thing where you can live forever in this like amazing place, and never get old. You know what I mean? So they didn't really choose this. They kind of like had to seek this out for themselves. But I think this was an ending that they didn't expect, but I think that they welcomed once they got there. You know what I mean? Like, because they thought they were just going to kill themselves, right? And like erase themselves from the thing. And then they ended up, on the other side, inside of the game, like inside of the bigger game that wasn't partitioned away from the world, just on Daly's computer, Robert Daly's computer. So, and I think that you get the reason why this is a happy ending is because these are not the real. I mean, they are the real people that are in this world. But they all know that their real lives are happening somewhere else, right? So I think maybe they can just like take this as an opportunity and maybe like, I don't know, like this is a life that I would never get to lead otherwise, and like just like to the best of my ability or to the best of their ability, like really just like grab it by the horns and live a fulfilling life. And I think that lends itself more to San Junipero. Because I think that is the idea of what happens in that. It's like they decide they both end up deciding at the end to live together in San Junipero, for the rest of their lives. And this is a whole nother like course their lives took, I don't know. So I think it more relates to San Junipero in my opinion, in the way I'm kind of like the way it kind of like played out for me.
And I liked it because it showed both ends of the spectrum of like how technology, like you could have this technology and live this alternate life in such like a happy and freeing way.
Yeah.
Or you could do it the way Robert did it in this constrictive, possessive way.
Yeah.
Which it seemed to me like kind of a take or an attack on gamer culture, gamer culture, masculinity, like kind of how females are portrayed in gamer culture. I know there's like a huge lawsuit going on about like fans like tweeting rape and death threats at like female gamers, and there's nothing that people are doing about it. So I think that was kind of their creator's way of saying like there is this, when you evolve this technology as much as you do, you're also bringing in the bad side of it as well.
Yeah. Yep. You're right.
I thought it was just like really well done, and you saw both sides of it. Like you saw how people could do it in a positive way, but then you also saw Robert's way, which was very dark and very twisted, but he got his, which is as good as you're going to get in Black Mirror, I guess.
Yeah, I was kind of like, I didn't really like that he died at the end. Like, I wish they kind of like did one of the Black Mirror things where they kind of leave a pit in your stomach, where he just like fires up the machine again and has their DNA all over again. You know what I mean? But
didn't make it like a full victory.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, they made it a victory for those characters, but then he's just going to make another set of characters.
Yeah.
And then there's a third set. It's like, yeah. But how fucked up was it that he threw Walton's son into the airlock into space?
Not ideal.
Not ideal. And then the real interesting part of this was that he could make people suffer as much as they wanted, but they wouldn't die. So
like-
that means
worse.
his son is floating around in space, just forever in pain.
Yep.
That's fucking that. Like that hit me at the end of it. I was like, holy shit, his son is just fucking floating out there forever in pain. That has to be the worst existence ever.
It's
not great. Although maybe now that like that his side of the game is shut down, maybe
so like any characters that are in limbo or something will be set free, or
I don't know, but answer me this. What is his character doing in that spaceship just floating out there? You know what I mean? Like he is still in the game, technically still in the game, right? Or did he like
so
I don't know.
Maybe they just float forever.
Yeah, maybe they just float forever. I don't know.
Just can't do anything.
Yeah, that's rough.
What I want to know is like, because they didn't really go into like what Walton did to like. Do you think like Walton did anything specific to Robert in real life?
No, I think he was just like a shrewd businessman, and I don't think Robert Daly really liked it. I think he was probably one of those like weird type introverts that didn't really like the way the company was going and didn't like the way he was treating him. But maybe Walton was just like thinking about the bottom line. That type of thing. That's what it kind of like showed. I don't think it was one instance. But who knows? I don't know.
It's kind of like monetizing his technology.
Right. So can you please talk to me about the hidden cameos? I got one of them. I didn't get the other.
So the one that you got was the voice at the end.
Yeah.
So
unmistakable.
He has a very distinctive voice, and it like I got it right away, and I'm sure a lot of people did. And I watch a lot of BoJack Horseman, where he's an animated character too, so I'm just used to that voice, not necessarily coming from his mouth or like coming from him on screen. Which was Aaron Paul, and he was the voice of like the spaceship at the end when Nanette and everyone had taken over. Yeah. And Kirsten Dunst is just like a random office worker.
Really? I missed that.
Yeah, like their actual universe.
That's awesome.
And she is engaged to Jesse Plemons in real life.
Yes, that's really lovely. And honestly, Jesse Plemons was great in this episode. He
is fantastic at these dark characters, but like he's still, to me, like, even though I've seen him as Todd in Breaking Bad, in Fargo he kind of played like a goof guy, like he wasn't really a bad guy, but even though like his characters are sinister and mean, like he still just does not look like a mean guy.
No.
So I'm always gonna give him the benefit of the doubt when it starts, and I'm like, shit, I should have known.
I should have known. Todd, that motherfucker Todd.
What a piece of crap he is, but he's just a fantastic actor, and I thought it was a great episode overall. I mean, when you can kind of bring themes from White Christmas and San Junipero into the same epic episode, like that's very high praise. I mean, those are two of my favorite ones, two of the highest rated ones.
Yep.
And this was their supersized episode of the season. So they've been doing one that's like an hour and a half-ish, an hour 20, and this was it. And last year's was Hated in the Nation, which we talked about a little bit with when Logan Paul was the topic. Yep. And that one was good, but that one kind of dragged it at times. But this one did not. This one
not
just
at all.
Flowed, and I think a lot of it had to do with the acting, but I think a lot of it had to do with how well this guy, the writer Charlie Brooker and the creator, can balance two universes in the same episode.
Mm-hmm.
He just does a great job of it, and you're interested in both. I mean, the alternate universe was a little more focused on when they're on the ship and stuff, but I just thought it was really great, and hell of a way to kick off a series or a season.
Absolutely.
Anything else you wanted to talk about with USS Callister?
No, I think that's it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was awesome. I thought they did a really good job with like the Star Trek parody moments. Jesse Plemons, like I said, he was great in it, and I really liked that he kind of like I love that they wrote the character like he's like the captain of that ship, just like the USS Enterprise, like the same kind of like cadences and like the words they use and what he's doing. And like I loved how they were teaching what was the girl's name, the girl from How I Met Your Mother, and was that her name,
Nanette?
Yeah, I liked how they were like kind of explaining to her like how everything worked, and he just like, I think it was like she just leans over, she's like, any button, It doesn't. None of the buttons do anything. Just press a button and say something.
Yeah. There was some light moments in there. Like there was some like little comedy mixed in, which was kind of funny.
Yes. Yeah. So,
and I thought it was funny that not funny, but it was interesting that he kind of made them all the same. Like as far as like sexual or sexual parts and stuff. Like she didn't have a vagina. Like there was none of that wasn't important to him.
Yeah,
it was the power.
Yeah, that was exactly. Yep. It wasn't a sexual fantasy. It was power. He wanted to be in control. And honestly, a lot of times you can equate that to, like, a lot of times movies and TV shows will equate that to, sex and sexual situations, like to be in power and whatnot. Right. But this really just takes that the very like literal sense, like he's the captain. He's in charge. So, and
you will listen to what he says, and that's it. Yeah.
Or else he will make your face just like a skin, and you'll just be like gasping for air and never have air, and you'll never die. So,
not an ideal.
No, definitely not ideal.
Yeah. All right, so we'll go to
episode 2. Yeah.
Episode 2, Arkangel. And this one was summarized on IMDb. After nearly losing her daughter, a mother invests in a new technology that allows her to keep track of her. Kind of vague, but that's what happens. Directed by Jodie Foster. Yes, that Jodie Foster.
I had to look this up.
Yeah, she's directed. She directed an episode of Orange Is the New Black last year. And she directed, I think, an episode of House of Cards too. So she's her Netflix.
Yeah, I didn't realize she was so prolific as a director.
And this was I enjoyed this one. A much different tone than USS Callister.
Yep.
First thoughts. What do you think?
So I really thought this was one of the episodes of Black Mirror that felt really hit really close to home and was really like this could just be a real thing. Like you could tell me tomorrow that this is a real thing that's being developed and you could put in your kids' heads so you can track what they're doing and like all their vital signs, and I would say yeah, that makes total sense. Like this is something that's like not too far off science fiction-y, you know what I mean? Like it's crazy. It reminds me of the episode of Bryce Dallas Howard, where she, and I forget the name of the episode, but she's going around and everybody rates each other.
Yes.
Yeah, it reminds me of that. This is a very like slave to technology themed episode. Also like a little like, how you should be raising your kids, where you should interject, where you shouldn't. But yeah, it hit very close to home. What about you?
I agree. And, it's the recurring theme of the series is like technology that they're using isn't that far off.
Yeah. And
I also think it goes out of its way to show you the negative side of all this technology. And kind of going back to what we talked about with, when we talk with Logan Paul and people having extreme views. And I think like our culture is kind of going through that in a way where you have the side that's like, technology's bad, like no one talks to each other anymore, blah blah blah, and then you have the side that's like you have to use technology for everything you do. And I understand both points of view, but I also think that it's more you get more out of it. It's more constructive if you meet in the middle.
Yeah.
I do agree that people can get lost in their phones and lost in technology and you lose that human element, but at the same time, to not use the technology at your fingertips is like a slap in the face. Like why? I mean, you should be using it. But I agree with you. This was the episode, I think, that the technology that was used, I have friends, I have family that I could see using this, like on their son or daughter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I didn't even really think of like, oh, what happens when she gets older? Like it's one thing to like watch your kid walk to school and make sure she doesn't get bullied, and it's a whole nother thing to watch your teenage daughter start hanging out with boys and go to parties. And I think the turning point in the episode was when the chip in the camera in her head temporarily saved the grandpa.
Right.
Like, that was the turning point where the mother was like, I made the right choice. I'm never turning this off now. Look, it saved his life. And they never explicitly said that.
Yeah. But
I think that she kind of got that. She was justified in doing what she was doing, and she's going to keep it forever type of thing.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's like, but again, it's like just a very modern, technologically advanced twist on like a mother reading her daughter's journal. Mm-hmm. You know, or something. I mean, it's not that crazy of an idea, and I'm sure it's something that could possibly happen one day. Yeah. Went back to the chip again, which is one of their favorite, devices to use. But yeah, I agree with you. That was kind of one of the first things I thought of. Was like, this is very real.
Yeah, I really thought that. I didn't know where this episode was gonna go in like the way of like, I guess like now that I know Black Mirror pretty well, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, right? So I'm always like anticipating, and this is like nothing I can do I can't help this in any way. It's just the way I am. Like and I'm sure you do this as well. You're trying to figure it out as you go. It's like a puzzle. And I didn't know where they were going to go with this because I thought there was a really interesting piece how everything that was like not bad, but everything that would cause stress or like drama or anything like that gets blurred out. So like blood,
dogs barking.
Yeah, dogs barking, which was an odd one. I really don't think that I don't know why that would be blurred out, but anyway. And then so, she starts like stabbing herself with a pencil to try and see where the blood is and whatnot. But, she was just like, acting out, and like this whole thing was like, getting to her. So that's when they turned it off. And then I thought this for as bleak of an episode this is, I thought that it was really funny when she goes to school when she doesn't have the censoring on, when she gets a little bit older, and her friend, starts showing her all these like fucking terrible videos on the internet, which is hilarious. It's like, and I thought about this. I'm like, if someone had never seen a terrible, horrible video on the internet, what would be the first thing you would show them? I started thinking about that, and then I was like, if you really want to get fucking hardcore, I probably would show them Two Girls, One Cup. Right? I mean, that's
unfortunately the go-to.
That's it.
Like, you can't, it's of something you can't unsee.
Yeah. So if you really wanted to, that would be the one I would do. But anyway, I got
kind of went right to the porn, right? Like, you just started showing her.
Yeah, right. I mean, this is it. This is what the internet is. So thought that was interesting. So I don't know. I mean, this one didn't have me as enthralled as Callister did, but it definitely was a lot more depressing, for sure. Yeah. What do you think?
No, I was gonna like something else you said earlier. Like, it was kind of a very unique take on like motherhood, but also being a single parent.
Yes.
And I think kind of just like being scared of the world, being afraid of what the world's going to turn your daughter into. And Holly made a good point, like at the very beginning of the episode when she has the kid, like she wasn't even reacting to having a baby until the baby started crying. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't know if I don't want to say like she wanted her kids to be miserable, but she clearly didn't want her to experience all that life had to offer. She didn't want her making her own mistakes. She didn't want her creating her own fears, which, we know as that. I don't think it's the correct way to do it, but it's all it's an opinion. I mean, you don't know it until you've had to do it.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a really good story on how to be a parent, how to be a single mother, and also how to balance like how shitty the world can be.
Yeah.
And, Trick, the boy that she ends up liking, I mean, there's a lot worse people out there than him.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he sells cocaine, and yeah, he's showing her porn, but he's not, from what we can see, a bad guy. I mean, he seems to care about her.
Yeah.
And still, the mother is, again, not allowing her to kind of make her own mistakes as she sneaks the pregnancy pill into her shake.
Fucked up.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
I thought that I want to stop you right there before we move on too far, but like I think that there's a really interesting thing to be said there, like a really good takeaway for parents. Like you were saying, like there are people far worse than Trick, her boyfriend / friend, whatever. It seems like you're always like he's like a pretty upstanding guy, like, you know, pretty like normal. He is selling cocaine, right? But he makes it very clear that he's not using. He's doing this to make a little money so he can get his own place or whatever, right? Whatever. I'm not judging here, but
No.
The mother only looks in when it's the worst possible scenarios.
Yes.
It's like when they're having sex and is talking very dirty to him right after they're done having sex. He says like, you know, you don't have to say that stuff because this is the stuff she saw in porn. And that like
but the
she
mother's
was
not seeing that.
right. Yeah, no, the mother's not seeing that. And then the mother didn't see the whole like 2 minutes of him trying to convince her not to do cocaine. And like the fact that he wasn't also doing it, you know what I mean? Like she just wanted to try it. So there was like 2 instances, and that's what led her to like storm into his work and like chew him out. But those are 2 instances. Like, even though you are seeing and hearing what your child is seeing, there are other sides to every story, and that you should really like listen to your kids. I think that there's like a really interesting story there somewhere. I'm not a parent, so I cannot speak to this if that is the case, or if I would take this with a grain of salt or whatever. But I thought I picked that out. I thought that was interesting.
She definitely had especially bad timing on.
Yeah, multiple occasions.
Yeah, and I think it was kind of it was definitely a scenario of the mother thinking she's saving the daughter from like this bad person,
Yeah,
or this bad kid, you know. But again, she's only seeing parts of it, and in a way, probably pushed her into something much worse.
yes,
as you see in the ending.
Yep. Her running away and hitchhiking.
Her running away, getting picked up by a hitchhiker. And Holly brought up a good point too, how she was beating her with basically like the tablet, and it's almost like the creators like beating you over the head with technology, like how technology is influencing our lives, and it's like it's here no matter where you turn. It's technology, it's TV, it's a phone, it's a computer.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting symbolism, like that she actually used the device to escape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she couldn't ever escape her mother's visions or her mother watching her until she physically used the device to beat her with it.
Now there's some loose ends here that I don't really know the details about, but like, so the iPad part of the thing is broken, but couldn't she just get that fixed and then, you know,
I think they discontinued it.
Oh, did I miss that? Did they say they discontinued it?
Yeah, I think like when she became like early teens or something, they stopped using it because they couldn't get funding for it, and it ultimately like wasn't working, but the mother decided to keep on using it.
Okay. All right. I see. Okay. So that makes more sense. Okay. Yeah. I must have missed that. But yeah, fucked up shit, real fucked up, beating your mother with an iPad. I don't recommend that.
Not ideal. I mean, come on.
Unless she's looking in on you doing drugs and having sex. I mean, in that case,
you gotta put it back in.
She had it coming. I thought Jodie Foster did a great job too, the direction. I think that the whole thing felt very Black Mirror. It's amazing how they can do that, right? Isn't that crazy? How they have all these different directors, all these different writers, but it feels very Black Mirror.
Yeah, like it fit perfectly into the universe. I mean, whether you enjoyed the episode or not, you can't say it didn't have the feel of a Black Mirror episode.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I'm not going to count it on like one of my top 2 or 3, but it's still an hour of just really engrossing television.
Yeah, storytelling.
And like,
yeah,
just really good storytelling, and you're constantly wondering like, where's this going to go? How's this going to end? In most cases, like, how much more fucked up is this going to be?
Yep.
And it always kind of gets there.
Yeah. Yep. Do you have anything else you want to add?
I did want to mention I'm a big fan of Trick. His name is Owen Teague, the actor. He was most recently in Bloodline, which is another Netflix show, and he played multiple parts in that show, and he was really good in that. And I thought, even though he didn't have a huge role in this, again, you got that sense that he was not a bad guy. You know, he was someone who did care for. What was the main character's name?
I forget. I'm terrible with keeping with people's names while I'm watching something. It's
with
real bad.
Sarah.
Okay.
With Sarah. And yeah, I really like him, and he was great in Bloodline, and I'm kind of excited what he does moving forward. And interestingly enough, this was the first Black Mirror episode directed by a female.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting.
And I guess all 6 episodes this season, it's, I guess, a mini spoiler alert, but we'll all have like female leads.
Really? Okay.
Creator kind of made a point to do that. The first 2 had, with Nanette and now this one with Sarah. So yeah, I guess the rest of them will too. And I did. Have you watched episode 3 yet?
Not yet. Planning on. I don't know about tonight, but definitely tomorrow night, or by the time next time we podcast.
Yeah. So we got. If you missed at the top of the podcast, we're gonna be reviewing episodes 3 and 4 of Black Mirror season 4. Crocodile is the name of episode 3, and Hang the DJ is the name of episode 4. I did watch episode 3.
Okay.
And I'm not going to spoil anything for you,
right,
except to say that I had to take a break from Black.
Jesus, this is the one you had to take a break?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
fuck.
It kind of gets to you. So
damn. Should I watch episode 4 then 3?
I haven't watched 4 yet.
Oh shit! I heard 4 is very good. K Marco from Barstool rated that as his best of this season. Hang the DJ.
It's rated 9.1.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
So yeah.
Excellent. Well, we'll be back next week. I'm not sure what day we're gonna do. Usually it's Wednesday or Thursday, so we'll figure out one of those days. We're gonna be reviewing Crocodile and Hang the DJ. We just said Black Mirror, new season 4. Episode 60, Ryan, in the books. Very excited. And we're also creeping up on a year of us being back at the podcast for, a regular amount of time. This is the longest I think we've done it for, definitely, right? We've already talked about
absolutely.
this.
Far away, yeah.
So remember, every week, Average Nobodies podcast, we're going to be getting into award season. The Golden Globes are coming. The Oscars are coming. Everything's coming. Everything's coming.
We have a lot of good qualities, but I think award season is our best season.
Absolutely. Best season of the year. Can't wait. We're going to continue on this this Black Mirror train. We still want to do Mr. Robot season 3. We still want to do a bunch of other things that are on Netflix, so we will not run out of TV Club episodes. And I think that's going to do it for today's podcast. You anything you want to add, Ryan?
No, I think that's it. Anyone like us who's going to be affected by this bomb cyclone or whatever the hell it's called, stay safe, stay warm, and hopefully you have the day off of work or school or whatever you're doing, and you can enjoy some quality TV and movies.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Matt, always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, Ryan. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. See ya.